Hey everybody, in this video I'm going to give my opinion for the best Soothsayer spell in Frostgrave. Hey everybody, I'm Alan with Bricks and Blocks Gaming, tabletop gaming with bricks and blocks and helping to build your gameplay experience. In the game of Frostgrave, the Soothsayer is a wizard with special knowledge about the world that is, that was, and is yet to be. Their spells include abilities to heighten the senses, see beyond their own eyes, and control and protect the mind. This school has the spell that I've stated many times on this channel may be the best spell in Frostgrave. So since there might not be any surprise as to what I'm going to be selecting, I'm going to start by getting to the bricks and blocks of the best Soothsayer spell, and then I'll be discussing two other spells from this school that I really like. I believe the best Soothsayer spell is Mind Control. Back in the 90s, I played a lot of Magic the Gathering, and probably my favorite card was Control Magic, which was an enchantment that took control of an opponent's monster. By taking away an opposing ally, and simultaneously adding one to my own side, I ended up netting 2 allies with just 1 card. And with Mind Control, the same is true, but it has the added benefit that the figure you gain is often behind enemy lines and within striking distance of enemy spellcasters. This spell does have a moderately high casting number at 12, but I find that even when I select it as a neutral spell, it's not that much of a hindrance because I'm generally empowering the spell up to the max of 18 anyway to really assert my authority over the figure and make it hard for them to resist. And then I like to follow up my casting with a healing spell or potion to keep my spellcaster from dying. The main problem with this spell is the target can possibly resist it, either immediately or after they've finished each of their activations. So what I usually like to do is to plan to only keep control of the figure for a turn or two and consider anything extra a bonus. Once controlled, a good strategy is to send your new ally immediately into combat with one of its former teammates so that hopefully one of the 2 figures will die before the control fails, or if nothing else, you've used a spell to tie up 2 figures for a turn or two. One awesome strategy is to use this spell on a treasure carrier right as they near the edge of the table, because if they leave the board under your control, this just in! Only days before this video was supposed to be released, a question was asked on the Frostgrave Facebook page about whether or not in the 2nd edition you could use Mind Control to move controlled figures off the board if they were carrying treasure tokens. And after some investigation of my own, I found that on page 49 of the 2nd edition book, it states that figures under temporary control may be sent off the board only if they're carrying treasure. But I was surprised when looking at Mind Control's wording that it specifically states figures under the effects of Mind Control can't be moved off the board. The author, Joseph McCullough, being the devoted creator of Frostgrave that he is, replied just hours after the post in what I believe was first thing Saturday morning where he lives, stating that the spell can no longer be used to move treasure carriers off the board, but added this change doesn't affect the other control spells. So if you use Control Construct, Control Demon, or Control Undead on an uncontrolled or opposing figure, you can leave the board with any treasure they're carrying. This is an important change to the spell, but doesn't affect what I believe to be the ultimate use of this spell. My ideal usage of this spell is to take control of an enemy crossbowman, netting you 2 figures, having them shoot and kill an enemy, netting 1 more, then moving them into combat with a spellcaster that hasn't activated yet and doesn't have any allies close enough to get them out of combat, and assuming the crossbowman fails his resistance roll after the activation, forcing the spellcaster to waste their action attacking and possibly dying, or just doing nothing. This ideal scenario would net you 3 soldiers, hamper your opponent's spellcasting for a turn, and if they get their crossbowman back sometime, he'll have an empty bow. And remember, you can use mind control on anything except for spellcasters and creatures that specifically say they're immune to its effects. The first of two other spells I want to highlight from the Soothsayer School is Reveal Secret. This spell makes any regular treasure token you secure better than the central token. It lets you make 2 rolls on the treasure table and choose which of the 2 results you want to keep. But with the central token, you have to choose to discard the first roll before you can roll the second, and you're stuck with whatever the second roll gives you. Since money can be hard to come by, anything that helps improve what you find is great to have in your arsenal. The other spell I want to highlight is Wizard Eye. And I think this is a spell that actually shines in non-Soothsayer spells. Looking at the spells the Soothsayer has access to in their own school and in their aligned schools, they actually don't have the greatest options for spells to use with a Wizard Eye. I think the spell shines with wizards that tend to spam line-of-sight spells like Elementalists, Enchanters, Necromancers, and Summoners. And even though these schools are all neutral to the Soothsayer School, Wizard Eye's casting number is just 12 for them, and since you often only need to cast this once per game, it makes for a great way to control the battlefield. Let me know in the comments not just what your favorite Soothsayer spell is, but which of their spells you'd select when choosing aligned and neutral spells for other wizard types. Whether you like the power of mind control, the out-of-game option of Reveal Secret, or the utility of Wizard's Eye. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to click like and subscribe so you can keep up with all the content I'm releasing. I'm Alan with Bricks and Blocks Gaming. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.